Hello, it's Debbie Gilbert from the Business Awards Show, and I'm also the founder of the Best Business Women Awards and the Best SME Awards. Well, today, what if magic wasn't just about tricks, but about connection, confidence, and creating unforgettable moments? Today, I'm joined by a multi-award-winning magician called Ollie, also known as Revilo Twist, a magician who has spent years honing his craft, performing at hundreds of events, and entertaining thousands of people across the UK. With over 500 performances under his belt, Ollie doesn't just perform magic, he creates experiences that bring people together, spark conversation, and leave lasting impressions. In this episode, we'll talk about his journey into magic and the story behind his business and what it really takes to build a career doing something a little bit different. We'll also explore how magic can break down barriers, build confidence, and connect people in ways you wouldn't expect. So, whether you're curious about life as a magician or building a personal brand or simply love a bit of wonder, we're going to have a great conversation for you to listen to today. So, Ollie, welcome to the Business Awards Show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm absolutely buzzing. I'm really excited for this.
Oh, well, the last time I saw you was only recently because you came to the Best SME Awards to perform to my guests,
Indeed.
who all told me how amazing you were. And I think you may have walked away with a few bookings from that.
Yeah, it was a really good evening actually, and it's nice to perform for different businesses because they're all in the local area and all involved with different events. So yeah, no, it was really good fun.
So, Ollie, what took you into magic? Tell us the story.
So I don't really have a story in the sense you might think of my granddad showed me a magic trick or anything like that. I was at an event, stuffing my face with food as lots of us do, and this elderly gentleman, Clive Fletcher, came over and showed me a magic trick, which I'll tell you, he cut a piece of rope in half and he put it back together again, and the whole table just erupted. They were absolutely blown away, as was I. And it was at that moment where I just thought, I want to be this guy. I want to do this. This is awesome. So I spoke to him afterwards and I said, how do I get into magic? And he said, are you being serious or are you like taking a mix or something? And I know, genuinely interested. He said, come along to the Secret Magicians Club. I was like, okay. I was quite young at the time. I think I was 15, 16, something like that. And so I was like, my mum had to come along with me. And so obviously she was very happy about that. But yeah, I went along to this magic club and it's like being a kid in a sweet shop. It was yeah, everyone just doing magic tricks, showing you magic tricks, teaching you things. All the kind of big names in magic that you never expect to see. I've met Dynamo, all the Britain's Got Talent people. I saw David Blaine earlier this year throughout magic, and it's just this surreal world that didn't know existed. And yeah, just kind of fell into it really.
So, is there a sort of like official magician's training courses?
Yeah, so you've got like magic societies or secret magic club, as he referred to it at the time, which are dotted around the UK and Europe and all different places. But that all kind of centralizes to the main magic circle, which is based in London. So that's a bit more kind of formal, and then it gets a bit more relaxed as you go out to the smaller clubs. But ultimately, it's yeah, all focused on that.
And so you're obviously quite young at 16, 17 when you started learning this. So was it a hobby to begin with, which then developed into a business?
Yeah, it was when I was meant to be revising for my exams. So yeah, very timely. So my parents probably thinking like, "Hey, I'll go to university and do this." No, I'm going to learn some card tricks and do my thing. But I was yeah, it sort of started going around to my mates and playing a few like gambling bets and that sort of stuff. I remember we had these Earth, Fire, and Wind cards, and I had to follow the right one and guess where it was. And I was making a couple of quid every lunchtime and that sort of stuff. And then I just became known as like the Magic Man, basically.
And where did the name come from? Tell me all about that.
Yeah, so my mum actually came up with it, which I'm really grateful for, and I'll go into to why in a second. But Revilo is Oliver backwards, so Revilo Twist. Well,
Oh my God, it is.
kind of fell
Yes,
perfectly into place.
yes.
And yeah, it's been really
Um,
nice to have that because it's a memorable thing once you know. The interesting part about the branding is that you don't realize, or
no.
most people don't until I actually say it. So it's got its pros and cons on that point. And I'm actually really glad about it because as I grow my business and as I've kind of diversified into different areas, this is from more of a boring corporate stance, it means that I can actually step away from that a little bit. If I want to book other people in the future, or if I want to sort of diversify the brand, it allows me to do that, which has been really nice and really helpful in some situations.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. So you just touched briefly upon the diversification of things that you're doing. So you're not just doing magic tricks at weddings and parties, you're doing stuff in the corporate world as well, aren't you? Tell me a bit more about that.
Yeah, all over the place. I'm in the awards sector, obviously, with yourself, the corporate market of corporate functions, networking events, conferences, speaking. I've got another business in the trade show market, so we work with exhibitors to increase their footfall and their return on investment from shows. And yeah, just anything that's in the corporate sector that might need a bit of entertainment to break the ice, keep people engaged, particularly like presentations. I know we've all fallen asleep in a presentation. So yeah,
So how long have you been doing it now?
about 10 years or so now.
And this is full time 10 years.
Full-time gig, yeah.
So did you start off getting a proper job to begin with and then kind of work
Yeah.
alongside with the
So
magic?
I worked in asset finance. That was
Oh
my
my
first
goodness.
job. Well, actually, I was a steward in a theatre when I was a bit younger, but asset finance was the first kind of main thing. And I was very hungry with that. Very much enjoyed jumping on the phones and giving it a good crack. And I soon became known as the magic man in the office as well. And then I moved into recruitment after that. So very different to being a magician, but you'd be surprised how much both of those overlap from knowledge of the corporate market and knowing all of the different industries is really, really helpful from the finance and recruitment side. I've walked into warehouses not knowing anyone and just had to kind of go in and blag my way in, which is the same as going to a crowd of people and performing. I've got to let them know why I'm here and make it worthwhile for them.
Mm.
And then moving into yeah, recruitment is also very similar because dealing with people, the corporate market isn't too bad, but particularly the wedding industry, oh my goodness, people are, are always going to be people. So yeah, and then just kind of fell into it after there, really. I kind of had a day where I thought, you know what, I'm going to give this a go. Boy, was it scary, but here we still are. So
So that was about 10 years ago you went full time doing it.
no, so full time was only about, just probably about 3 years ago now.
Oh, wow. Okay. So
So
really
yeah,
quite recent.
yeah, it was in the background for a while, and
Mm,
it was kind of like I'm earning a salary, I'm earning commission.
mm,
Can I afford to make that jump? And
yeah.
yeah, I went to an Ed Sheeran concert, and he said, "Any of you out there thinking about quitting your jobs, go in and do it tomorrow. Life's too short, and you will not regret it." That's pretty much what I did.
Good old Ed.
Yeah,
Good
good
old
old Ed.
Ed. Yeah, I mean, it is a big step doing that. I mean, probably in a way, though, it's a good job you did do it 3 years ago and not 6 years ago when the pandemic hit, because the
Oh,
entertainment industry
yeah,
is,
I
you know,
couldn't be luckier with that one on timing.
wild. Yeah.
Some of my colleagues had to really transition their business into doing just Zoom shows and things like that, or picking up other jobs on the side. I think, yeah, I'm so lucky that, and hopefully, touch wood, nothing else like that happens anytime soon. But yeah,
So you presumably built on your original kind of client base that you'd built up over those few years part time. And how has it, been challenging for you growing it beyond that? I mean, has it been a challenge or has it been quite easy?
it's going really well, but it has been a really big challenge in ways
Mm,
that you probably wouldn't expect. I think one of the things I learned very early on was speaking to people, going to networking events. I just wanted to get out there and learn what's this world really about in the business world. And one of the kind of biggest bits of advice I sort of took from podcasts and reading books and different things was what makes the boat go faster? What's
mm,
actually going to get you business and work? And the other thing was delegate. Delegate as much as you can, as quick as you can, and don't worry about it for now. It's going to cost you money. You're going to panic a little bit, but trust me, you'll be grateful for it. And I think I'm really starting to feel the benefit of that now because I've got quite a lot I farm out to other people to do. It has allowed me to grow the business and work on the business rather than just being in it, if that makes
mm,
sense. Um, so yeah, I think every day's a school day, isn't it? But
mm.
it's just amazing how you wake up and decide, actually, I think the business is going to go in this direction. But then a couple of months you start swaying to another bit and okay, we're going this way. You've just got to go with the flow and see what works. But it's yeah, definitely been a trial and error process of ruling out certain events. that just aren't my type. I mean, I've worked at kids' parties where they're throwing sweets at me in different bits when I was too young to. I'm kind of like a few years older than them trying to run a kids' party, and it wasn't the right fit. But do you know what I mean? You've got to put yourself in those situations to learn. And yeah, every day
Yeah,
at
so
school day.
kids magic is not something you really want to be doing generally.
I'm great at performing for kids now.
Oh,
I
okay.
wasn't at the time, and
We wasn't at the time.
it's not a market that I push. But if there's kids at a wedding, absolutely I can
Mm,
entertain them. If it's a family event or even a corporate event, sometimes there's families there.
mm.
But learning how to deal with that and how to entertain them is a completely different skill. I've done balloon modeling. I've done tried to do circus workshops. I've run after school clubs at schools and all kinds of bits. And I've loved doing some of it, and some of it's been really challenging. But the thing that was probably the most difficult at the time was my age, because I was 15,
Mm.
16, 17 or whatever. It was like, got my older brother coming to, do you know what I mean? There just wasn't that authority. So that's probably where where I transitioned a bit.
Now you're a bit older. You've got a bit more air of authority about you, so they listen
Yeah, it's
more.
the
Yeah.
beard hiding the baby face. That's what it is.
So what's your favorite sort of event? What do you really love doing?
I get asked this question quite a lot, and it's always a really difficult one to answer.
Mm,
I think the first thing is venues. I'm
mm,
so lucky to perform at some of the places I get to go to. I've
mm.
performed at Blenheim Palace. I was at the Silverstone track the other week. I've performed in so many different places. I've got Paris. I'm going to Santorini next month, or this month even. And yeah, it's just seeing the UK and the world in ways that you couldn't imagine. Magic really does make that possible, and I'm always grateful for that. But in terms of a favorite event, I think it just depends on the people, because I can go to one event, do the same things that I'm doing, and it's a great event. It goes well, but then I go to another one, and I don't want to go home. I'm absolutely just vibing with everyone, having a great time, and that really makes it for me.
Oh, well, that's a really nice thing to say. That's good. So it is the Business Awards show. So we talk about business awards, and no one gets on my show unless they've won an award. So we got chatting when I booked you for the Best SMEs, and you shared with me that you'd won several wedding awards. Now, the wedding industry has a lot of their own type of awards, very separate from general business awards. So talk me through your experience of wedding awards and what awards have you won and what are your thoughts on it?
I think the first thing is there's a lot of awards out there,
Mm,
and a lot of them don't mean much,
no.
but a lot of them really do. And that's
Mm,
something I really struggled to filter through at the start. I get emails from some companies saying,
yeah.
"You've won an award, you've won this, you've won that, pay £400 for a trophy." And I think,
Mm,
hang on a minute. And
mm,
you look into it, and yeah, you haven't won an award, you haven't been nominated, and it's just
yeah.
all a load of, do you know what I mean?
Rubbish. Yeah.
Um, but then there's others that are really genuine. They
Mm,
have accredited judges that are people that work in the industry, or it's based on votes from genuine couples, and it's really difficult to win. So
mm,
I think it's really tricky to distinguish what is legitimate and what isn't.
mm.
But I mean, I can run through some of the ones that are legitimate, which
Yeah,
I've been lucky to been in.
sure.
So you've got the Guides for Brides Awards,
Mm,
which is done by judges. So they base it on like your reviews, how you
mm,
are on social media, where you're showing up on your website and things like that, and then it's judged privately on there. So I was lucky to be a finalist last year and then a winner this year.
wow.
So that was a really nice feeling. It was at the Oxford Town Hall. So again, very nice venue.
That's a
Uh,
national one, is it? Guides for Brides?
yes, yeah. So
Yes.
that's
Oh,
across
that's good.
all of
And
their platform.
was it a category for entertainers, or what was the category that you won?
Yeah, that was an entertainment category,
Right. Okay.
which is a tricky one really, because
Mm,
magicians up against photo booths, up
mm,
against caricaturists, things like that. They're all
okay.
very different, and you
Yeah,
could
they
be.
are.
It depends what you class as being good at your job, really.
Mm,
Those awards in particular for the customer service awards. So that's how you deal with your
mm.
client base,
That's
basically.
good. Okay.
Then you've got the Hitched Wedding Awards.
Hmm.
They don't have an awards night that you go to. It's just an online thing, but that's based on the reviews that you get on their platform.
Okay.
The nice thing about that is you can't just copy and paste reviews over. You have to get the couple emailed and they have to leave the review.
Right.
So you can't
Okay.
fake putting them
No.
on there. I've been lucky to win that for the last 2 years in a row, which is yeah, very cool. And then you've got the Wedding Industry Awards. I
Mm,
was, yeah, lucky enough to be a regional winner this year, which is yeah, pretty mad. Wasn't expecting that, and that is done on. You have to fill out a long questionnaire about your
Mhm.
business, how you run it, what's your USP, what clients do you have, how do you get your work, all kinds of bits. What biggest challenges you've had in the industry, and then you have to email all of your couples and get them to vote for you. And again, they put feedback on there as well. So that's quite probably the most extensive one, I would say, probably the most recognized one in the industry. I was a national finalist, wasn't a national winner this year, but I have been nominated for the following year for next year.
But Ollie, you've had a business for 3 years, so I think this is really good for you. I think that in such a short space of time, you've made an impact in your industry. So I think that in itself is really good, even if you didn't win nationally, but regionally, that's fantastic.
Thank you. It's a really surreal, weird feeling, to be honest.
Mm,
I think for me, just to be in a room with people
mm.
that are in the industry and have been for a long time and are smashing it, that's good enough for me. I'm more than
So
happy with
did
that.
did they have an in-person final then, that one, the last one that you were talking about, the wedding
Yeah, so the Wedding Industry Awards, they
industry?
have a regional event for each region.
Mm, mm.
And then you have a national for all of the winners.
And are you just tempted to take your cards with you wherever you go, or do you have a night off when you go to these things?
I don't know. I'm probably I always have them on me generally
Yeah,
because people are going to ask me, and if you go, I'm a full-time magician, they go, show me a trick. Oh, sorry, I can't. I look a bit silly.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm a bit of a performing monkey sometimes. I try not to, and then normally someone drops me and they go, oh, he's a magician, by the way. Oh, here we go. Sit down for Christmas dinner, and Mum goes, yeah, you're gonna show everyone a trick then.
Oh
No,
God.
not today. But no,
Yeah,
I love it. As soon as I've done one and get going, of course I'm in the
yeah,
mood and have a good
yeah.
time.
And talking about all of these awards, do you think they've really strengthened your brand and got you new customers?
Yeah, I think so. There's a bit of a debate internally with magicians, actually,
Mm,
which I don't know if I should be sharing this or not, but some magicians really believe in awards and some don't. And
mhm,
I think the same opinion that they have probably goes out to couples as well. Because if you look at most people in the industry, they all say award winning.
mm,
But is that award winning from the one you get emailed and you've just won an
mhm,
award, or is that a legitimate one? So I don't know how much it strengthens the brand. I think it does if you know and research into it. I think if you
mm.
care enough to look at it, then it probably weakens a brand by having one that's not legitimate.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's a hard one to answer.
No, I think you're right. I think that although consumers maybe are not aware of some of these, we call them in the industry fake or vanity awards, where you just get an email telling you you've won the best magician in Daventry or Northamptonshire, and you never entered it, and they've just basically found you on social media. And of course, with AI now, it's really easy for them to do that. But the legitimate ones that you're describing, where people have got to get reviews, they've got to fill in an entry form, they've got to, basically substantiate the claims that they're making, I do think have a lot of weight to them. And what I was impressed about with you was literally the next day after you'd performed at my event. I don't know if you've got this automated, but you sent me a link to leave you a review. Um, and, I looked at your reviews and, on Trustpilot, and you have got outstanding reviews on there. And I think when people are booking something, yes, they can go and look at maybe a YouTube video of you performing, but you also want to know that that performer's going to show up, that they're going to be great with your guests. And you want to read those reviews. And I know that I don't book anybody for any event without doing that because you could send me a show reel or I could look at a show reel and that's great. But actually, there are performers that don't turn up on time, that don't deliver what they said they were going to do. And I think in your industry, reviews are everything, really, aren't they?
Yeah, it's really tricky to get them a lot of the time
I
as well,
know.
and it's also knowing when to time it because you're often busy after the next day packing things away, or if you're having a wedding, you're going on a honeymoon, or
Mm.
there's loads of bits that can get in the way, and it's about how kind of needy you are of chasing those reviews up. But it really does mean a lot, and the difference of one review can actually really help a business
Mm,
tremendously. Not just because you've given them another review and they've now got 80 instead of 79, but it helps with their SEO. It helps to show that they're present recently. It might be that somebody local is looking and they've gone, oh, okay, yeah, I know Debbie, perfect. That's do you know, there's so many tick in a box bits that it just really boosts a business. More than people realize. I think it should almost be normalized to leave reviews a lot more because most people that leave me
mm.
a review, it says they've left 3 or 4 reviews before. That's it. Whereas
I
if we
know.
just help each other out a bit more. Um,
So did you automate that, or was that sent out by you the next day?
so it is automated, my follow-up email, but it's all manually made by me. So
Mm,
a lot of my business is automated, and the reason
mm,
it's automated is because it's grown too quickly for me, if I'm honest.
mm,
I can't keep up. So with your review there, for example, for my business, I need to get that onto Trustpilot. I need to get it onto Google Reviews. Hitched, I need to get it on there. I've also got Guides for Brides. I've
mm,
got my widget on my website. I've got Pop Top, which is another agent. I've got
mm.
about 10 to 15 places where I've got to try and put your review for it to show up on Google where people might see it.
Yeah, it's
So
quite a lot of work.
yeah, so there's lots of bits like that in the business which you can do manually, but if you can automate,
Mm.
it just makes it stronger.
So let's talk a bit about marketing because obviously marketing for your industry is quite different to a kind of different bog standard business, like
Yeah.
professional services. So I mean, from what I witnessed on the night of the awards and the number of people that came up and asked me for your details, which were in our program, because I always put my entertainers in the program for that reason. What um what do you find works best for you to get new clients? Is it the performances and every time you do one you get clients, or are you doing other things as well alongside the reviews?
Definitely doing other things as well. In person has been getting a lot better recently, and I
Mm,
think I've probably realised it's because I'm being human. I'm not just turning up and performing,
mm,
whereas that's probably what I used to do. And now it's about actually connecting with people. I could probably remember a lot of the names of people that I chatted to on that night, a lot of the people I performed to, what they do, who they were with,
mm,
just because I'm just doing that little bit of extra care and knowing who they are, which makes them want to book you because they feel like they've connected with you. But in terms of marketing, I think it's just about being consistent.
mm,
It's posting on Instagram nearly every day,
mm,
sending out emails to everyone every day without fail, replying to messages quickly,
mm,
um, lead platforms, replying to reviews, just being present. Like if you drop me a text to anyone now listening to this podcast, I'd pretty much guarantee you'll get a message back from me within less than 2 minutes. Unless I'm like midway through a magic trick at a table, you're pretty much going to get a reply.
mm,
And that's what's helped, I think, is just to be present, quick, and just honest. You know, if people want my prices, there you go, done. Like there's no batting around and oh, how far is it? How much travel can I add on? How can I rip you off? It's I think I've probably learned that lesson a bit from finance because we used to have to add commission on and it was, oh, go on then make loads of money. Go on and see if you can get it over at that price then. Whereas actually, I didn't really care about the longevity of that business because it wasn't my company. Whereas now, I'm in this for the long run. I want my clients to respect me. I want them to give out good word of mouth. And ultimately, when you look at a client, say they've got, I don't know, £500 on their head, right? They've got 10 friends. They've also got £500 on. You don't know who knows who.
mm.
So yeah, that's probably the way I've approached it, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a really good strategy. Let's talk about some of the stuff that you touched on earlier about doing magic at business expos, because you probably didn't know this, but I used to own an expo company, which I sold just over a year ago, actually. And we always used to say to people who booked stands with us, have something interesting on your stand. And in fact, I used to book a balloon artist to come and do some balloon
Amazing.
at the event, and she would go around to all the stand holders and just pick them visitors, and we paid for her to be there. So I actually think magic is quite a good idea, and one of the videos I watched of you were standing at a business expo doing magic. So how do you think that helps people and gets them over to the stand and engages the visitors with their brand?
With the magic, it's not about the magic. That's the
Mm,
bit that people miss. It's
mm,
not another gimmick. It's not a coffee
no.
machine. It's not a Nerf gun firing at a board. I've seen so many different things. It pretty much is a tool that guarantees that you will be the busiest stand.
Mm,
As mad as that sounds, people don't get it until they see it. when you're walking past, it's very easy to go, oh, hi sir, are you having a good day? Oh, okay, yeah, he's gone. And it's very easy to get ignored. People are on a mission, they know where they want to go, and they don't even know what your brand is or who you are at this point a lot of the time. So they haven't really got a reason to stop. Magic is a great way to go in there and show them something. If it, let's say we use a deck of cards for a very quick example, take a card. It's a bit of a shock. You're like, oh, okay. You take out a playing card. Now you're holding this playing card. You're not going to walk off with it because it's going to make this deck of cards incomplete. I've now got you. That's it. I'll remember the card for me, blah, blah, blah. I'll come in a little bit closer so we're not in the walkway. It's just guiding people in. And then as we're doing this trick, you're starting to react, make a bit of noise. People are laughing, clapping. Oh, so have a look at this. You'll like this. Come over here. Would you mind just helping these ladies out for me? Is that all right? I've then all of a sudden got 10 people looking at this card. And in that process, we can actually qualify them as well, so we can learn what they do. So I've just worked with a care company, for example. So I needed to know if they work in domiciliary care or residential care. If they're residential, they're not the right fit for this company. I'd kind of say, right, no worries, guys. Hope you enjoyed the magic. Have a nice day. If they're domiciliary, I've got them. They ain't going anywhere. And then we can ask them more questions, and ultimately they will know exactly what the company we're working with, who they are, what they do, and the solution they provide. In that time, we can then pass them over to the client, book them onto a demo, whatever it might be, get a sale over the line. And it's just that constant flow of traffic that you wouldn't get without that magnet.
Yeah, so you're almost like part of their sales team for the day.
Yeah, so by the end of the day, I pretty much guarantee, because I say we, it's a team of us, myself, Matthew, and Lee. We will know exactly what your company does. We'll pretty much know the competitors that are at the show, the main selling points. We know how to book you onto a demo. We can talk you through all of the interactive, like if you've got a screen with a demo on it, we'll go through all of it. This one was a CRM system. I could literally do a full walkthrough of the system and sell the product to them just from doing a magic trick.
Oh, that's pretty
It's
impressive. I love it.
yeah, the value honestly is if you see it in action, I can't without blowing my own trumpet. It's yeah, I've
Have
never
you got
seen anything like
many
it.
more of those booked in for this year?
Yeah, I've got quite a few booked in. I'm at the is it the Niver show? I think the International Water Show next week. I think it is a week after. Yeah, there's lots of different industries as well, and we can customize things to your branding as well. So we've worked in like the aggregates industry, solar panels, all different bits. So if you wanted a trick that's themed around what you do,
Mm,
there's a trick some of you at the awards will have seen where I turn the cards into glass. We can say, right,
yeah,
here we've got the clear solution.
yeah.
And do you know what I mean? Put it all into the pitching as well. Yeah, I get really passionate about it because it's just it's incredible.
Yeah, and it's just about getting people's attention, isn't it, at the end of the day? And that's the
Yeah.
starting point of any sales process. So we also talked a little bit at the beginning that you work with corporates like for maybe team building events or where they're doing a conference and they need somebody to do a bit of an icebreaker.
Yeah.
So how does that work? And because it can really unite people, magic, can't it? That maybe don't know each other. It's kind of bringing them together, isn't it?
Depends on the format of the event.
Mm.
Team building is a great one. So I've been into businesses to do like sales training and kind of mixed in the magic with it, or it can just be a fun icebreaker team building activity. That could be teaching them two or three tricks, and it's just a nice way to. It's really funny for them because they don't know how to do the trick, so obviously they're going to get it wrong quite a few times in the process of learning it. So there's a rubber band trick that I teach where it jumps across the fingers and you've got people pinging bands. They snap the band, or can have another band, or they ping it at their mate by accident, and they're showing each other. And it's just that really nice bit of everyone sat around the table doing something they've never done before in their lives together, and then they've got something they can take home, show the family and friends. If you've got the networking drinks in the evening, often they'll have one group that does magic, one group that does something else. They can go and show all of them in the evening, and none of them have seen it before. So they get that enjoyment that I do of going to an event and getting that reaction. So it's yeah, it's really quite clever. And then obviously you've got the speaking bits as well, doing a quick trick on stage between talks if you wanted to have a bit of close-up magic in the lunch break where everyone goes and queues for a buffet and it takes an hour to get food and things like that. Yeah, you've probably been there.
Yeah.
And yeah, just keeping everyone having a good time and something they're going to remember.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Okay, so I just want to kind of wrap up with a few things really about your future and how you see your business developing. So, What's on the growth plan for you? How do you see this business developing over the next few years?
Interesting question. The trade show market is definitely something that I want to push more of because I'll be honest, I'm pretty much at capacity with weekend events. A lot of weddings are at weekends, parties, etc. So weekday work is really helpful for me. An entertainment agency. So I already book out a lot of other people, not just magicians, but photo booths, DJs, saxophonists, you name it, ice cream. Really growing that as a business because at the moment that's coming from my marketing as an extra. I'd like that to grow into that is another business. So it's actually being marketed. Um, and then probably just some personal goals on top of that, really, just to refine how I work, maybe get my like travel radius down a little bit. At the moment, I do a lot of events here, there, and everywhere. It'd be really nice to be a bit closer to home sometimes, not driving 3 hours back at 12 o'clock at night and things like that.
Yeah, that's hard going, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tough, but I love it. So and you're on a massive adrenaline rush on the way home, so it's not too bad.
And how do you keep up to date with all the latest tricks that people develop? Are you still part of a magic club?
Yeah, still part of the Northampton Magic Club, the secret magicians club I went to originally. Part of the Magic Circle as well.
Hmm.
And you've got the convention in Blackpool in February where all the magicians go to. It's carnage. I wouldn't recommend it for anyone who's not a magician. You'll be yeah, be swarmed by magic tricks unless you want that. And then yeah, just online Facebook groups and different places. It's kind of news travels very fast. You see a magician do a new trick and everyone's like, woof, just on them.
And don't you have to sign some secret code that you won't reveal how the tricks are done?
Yeah, so that's the magic circle essentially. So you have to yeah, agree that you're not going to leak any of the secrets.
Yeah, but that should be how it is, really. And more awards? Are you going to enter some more awards? I think you should be entering business awards as well now, not just wedding industry.
Yeah, I we'll have a chat about that. You can guide me on the ones that are legitimate.
Yes, I definitely
Um
will.
yeah, again I've had a few corporate bits. I think there's a award called the Prestige Awards. I've won bits with them. I don't know if they're haven't really looked into them to be honest. But yeah, maybe I should have a look at some business awards.
Yeah, I think so because I think it's good because that will expose you to the environment of all the businesses that you could go and do these tricks for their trade shows and their events. The wedding industry is great, but obviously you are sat in a room full of other people in the wedding industry. So exposing yourself to other audiences, I think, would be definitely worthwhile for you. So yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm sure we will. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you in October at the Best Business Women Awards. So that's going to be great and
Very excited.
entertaining the business women. And it's always a great event. People are always really supportive of each other. And I think entertainment is such a crucial part. And I've been to so many awards that don't have any entertainment at all. And it can feel quite a long, drawn out, dry evening without anything else.
Yeah,
So when I set up my awards, I said, got to have entertainment. We've had all sorts over the years, dance acts and different singers and different performers. So it's been good to add a bit of magic to the evening.
indeed.
Well, thank you for joining me today. It's been great talking to you, and I wish you continued success with your business. And see you in October.
Thanks so much for having me, Debbie. And yeah, looking forward to the Best Business Women Awards. Exciting
Thank you.
stuff.
And if you've been listening to today's episode, we will make sure that Ollie's details are in the show notes so you can contact him if you are looking for an entertainer for your business. Thank you. Or party or
Or
wedding.
party. Anywhere that pays.
Yeah. Thank you, Ollie.
Take care.
Thank you.